Hello YouTube, my name is Dennis Miller. I'm going to review the Ruger SR9E today. A little bit about myself. I've served in the military for almost 6 years. I enlisted in 2009 and was discharged January of 2015. But anyway, that's enough about me. Now on to the 9mm. The first thing I want to talk about today about this firearm is the safety mechanisms that it has. It's got the thumb safety, which I thought was amazing. That's actually what made me buy this firearm, aside from it being on sale, over any other firearm that I saw in the display case. On top of the thumb safety, it has the trigger safety, which that little lever there has to be pushed down in order for you to pull the trigger. So a lot of people would think that it's actually overkill on the safety. I don't. I'm a huge safety fanatic, and if you were to ever see me at the range, I'll never walk into a firing range with a loaded firearm. You'll see my slides locked to the rear before I even approach the firing line, and my magazine is either in my holster or in my ammo can, depending on the rules of the range that I go to. But anyhow, that's about all the safety features that it has, aside from not being able to fire a round without the magazine inserted into the magazine well. One day I actually went to my in-laws' house because they live in the country and they have enough property for me to shoot on. So I haven't actually taken this firearm to a range yet, because I'm able to shoot on my in-laws' property. And I'd taken my firearm, I'd taken my 9mm there. I was wanting to shoot it, but I forgot my magazine at home. I figured, no biggie, you know, if I can fire one round off, I'll be happy. So I take a round and I go to try to shoot, and nothing. I put it in the chamber and tried to shoot it, and nothing happened. And then a couple days later, I'd actually remembered my magazine when I wanted to go and shoot it, and I figured, hey, try something else. So I loaded my magazine into the magazine well and chambered a round. And then I dropped my magazine and I tried to fire again, knowing that my weapon properly chambered a round. It wasn't a manual feed or anything like that. So I tried to fire around and still nothing. So that's another safety feature that it has too, which I thought was odd. I don't like it, but then again I do like it, because if I do wind up having a round in the chamber after I drop my magazine, I know I'm not going to be able to shoot, which is a good thing, especially at a range or if you have kids in the house and whatnot. But anyway, that's enough about that. On the more things about the safety. The only thing that I don't like about the thumb safety on this firearm is it's located in a very convenient place. I can flip it on and off with my knuckle on my thumb, which is a good thing. Especially for law enforcement, things like that. You want to have a quick access to your safety if you have a safety on your firearm. But anyhow, the thing that I don't like about the thumb safety is that if you have your weapon on safe, you cannot pull the slide to the rear. That is the one thing that I do not like about it. because if I have to eject a round for some reason, I want my firearm to be on safe. That way, if my finger accidentally goes into the trigger well, I'm not discharging a round through my hand. Even though I wouldn't go like this to push the slide to the rear, I'd go more like this. And actually, that's what I usually do anyway. But I don't want to accidentally discharge my firearm while I'm trying to pull my slide to the rear to eject a round, or something of that sort. But anyway, the next thing I want to talk about is the weight. After I bought this firearm a couple months ago, I got it home and realized that the entire lower portion, including the pistol grip and just the entire lower portion, actually, is made of plastic, except for the moving mechanisms inside of the lower portion that make it a necessity to fire the firearm. I thought that was funky. I wasn't sure how I'd like it until I actually shot it, and so anyway, I loaded my firearm, I went to shoot, and I actually fell in love with it the second that I shot it, with it being plastic on the entire lower portion. You know, I thought I was going to want to go return the firearm, you know, even though I couldn't, because where I bought it, they had a no refunds policy, or no return policy, but I thought I was going to have to sell it or something and get another one, but I didn't, because I actually love this firearm because of the plastic. The plastic actually reduces the weight of the firearm significantly. It's nowhere near as heavy as a standard issue, or a standard law enforcement issue firearm, because of the plastic. You know, you add your magazine, and it still doesn't equate to how much a standard issue sidearm weighs with law enforcement or the military. You know, like I said earlier, I've been in the military for 6 years as an MP, and I'm used to shooting 9 mils, and I picked this up, and the weight difference was just phenomenal. But anyhow, the weight being so reduced makes it so much easier to acquire and keep a sight picture. You know, especially if you're using your 3-dot sights and you're not using a laser sight, because I'm not one for laser sights myself. It does have the mount on the front of the firearm below the barrel, so that you can add a tack light or a laser sight, but I'm not very fond of laser sights myself. To me, your gun's only going to be as accurate as you are, you know, so I try to use iron sights as much as possible for that factor, because it improves my sight picture every time I go to shoot. But anyhow, because of the weight difference, and I know there's other things that go into the actual making of the firearm that actually reduces recoil as well. I think that a lot of it's the weight difference, but I know there's other mechanisms that they added that helps reduce the recoil as well, like the spring for the slide and everything like that. But other than that, the weight difference makes it an amazing weapon to fire, because of how easy it is to use because of the weight. You know, my grandmother can use it, and she's like in her 70s, you know, and it's just phenomenal. But anyway, Next thing that I want to talk about, and probably the last thing that I'll talk about now, is the disassembly. I was not familiar how to disassemble this weapon. Not only was it a different brand than I'm used to, I'm used to Beretta, and not just any Beretta. I was used to really, really old military issue Berettas. You know, I never got the new stuff because I was National Guard. You know, we always got the hand-me-downs. But anyway, I went to take it apart so that I can oil it and clean it before my first time shooting, and I was like, what the heck? I had to actually read the owner's manual to disassemble it because it's not what I'm used to. But anyway, going on to the disassembly, all it is this pin right here. You push that out, and then you flip the firearm over and actually pull the pin completely out. And then here is another is a lever. It looks kind of like a pin if you're looking down on it, but you've got to push that down as well, and then you can release the slide and disassemble your weapon. Other than that, the rest of the disassembly is practically the same as any other firearm. You remove the spring, and then you can remove your barrel, and that's as far as that I'll ever take my weapon down, because I'm not a certified gunsmith, and I don't want to ruin my gun. But this is a fantastic firearm to shoot, and hopefully soon I can get a video posted of me actually firing the weapon, to show the ease of use. You know, and I never zero my sidearm sights because it's difficult to zero on something that is going to move irregardless. I was trained in the military how to shoot my sidearm, so I'm used to that as well. Because we never zeroed our sidearms in the military either. So, but anyway, again, with a disassembly, to reassemble it, it's all the same again. Yeah, or just reverse. And then after you get everything put back together, that's not, no. Okay, there we go. You know, it's just the reverse. Put your pin in, and then you're assembled, but you're not ready to go. That pin-looking thing inside, that lever, you've got to push that up as well in order to properly use your firearm. You won't be able to chamber around or anything unless that pin or lever is pushed back up to the operating position. But anyhow, another thing that I wanted to touch base on was the magazine. I wasn't familiar with the magazine. You know, I mean, it is the same concept as any other 9mm magazine, but I wasn't familiar when I pulled it out of the box that it had two sets of round indicators. On the right side, it has even numbers from 4 rounds all the way up to 16 rounds, and then you flip it over, and on the left side, it has the odd numbers from 5 rounds all the way up to 17 rounds. And I just thought that was awesome, because you should always know how many rounds you have in your magazine at all times. But if you get lost in the midst, or if you lose count in the midst of everything, and after you're done, all you have to do is drop your magazine and look and see, okay, I have 17 rounds. I didn't take a shot. Or I have 9 rounds, or 4 rounds, or 3, or 8 rounds. You know, I thought that was amazing. But the one thing that I don't like about the magazine is that once you get down to your last few rounds, it becomes more of a pain to load it than anything else. I wasn't used to the pressure that I had to put on the rounds in order to load them by hand. So I wound up ordering a speed loader just the other day, so hopefully it comes in soon, directly from Ruger actually. But hopefully that comes in soon. It'll make it so much easier to load it, because all you got to do is push down and load your round, and it's so easy because you can actually use your entire hand to push your rounds down and load your next round, rather than trying to push down with just your thumb to keep a round in between your fingers and to load at the same time. But anyhow, that is my review. If you felt like I left anything out that you wanted to see about it, let me know in the comments. If you have any suggestions on anything else that you would like to see me review, firearms or otherwise, leave a message. I'll try to get my hands on whatever item that you want me to review, and then get the video posted as soon as I can. But any recommendations whatsoever, leave a comment. But I'll try to get back to you guys as soon as possible. But with all that being said, that's the end of this review. So leave a comment, like, subscribe, do whatever you want. Just make sure you keep coming back and watching my videos. And I'll see you guys hopefully soon.